Nobody expected Cardi B to finally reveal what really happened between her and Stefon Diggs. For months, fans noticed something was off, but no one could explain exactly what went wrong. There were no clear statements, no official breakup announcement, and no direct explanation from Cardi herself. Instead, there was only silence, and sometimes silence can say more than words. The distance between Cardi B and Stefon Diggs became obvious slowly, almost quietly, until fans began to realize that something behind the scenes had changed. What once looked like a strong and exciting relationship suddenly turned into mystery and speculation, leaving everyone wondering what really happened between them. At first, many people believed Cardi B was simply busy with her career and personal life. She had shows to perform, music to record, and a family to take care of, so it seemed normal that she wasn't posting as much about Stefon Diggs. But fans who followed closely started noticing the small details that didn't feel normal. Cardi stopped mentioning Diggs in interviews, she stopped reacting to posts connected to him, and she appeared more distant online. These small signs made people question whether the relationship was already falling apart long before anyone realized it, according to reports and online speculation. The problems between Cardi B and Stefon Diggs may have started much earlier than people think. Some insiders claimed that Cardi had been dealing with stress behind the scenes and was trying to keep things private while she figured out what to do next. From the outside, everything looked calm, but behind the scenes, the situation may have been far more complicated. This would explain why Cardi seemed more guarded and careful in public appearances, almost like someone who already knew the relationship might not last. What made the situation even more confusing was that there was never one single moment where everything officially ended. Instead, it looked like a slow separation. The posts stopped, the mentions stopped, and eventually the connection between them seemed to disappear completely. Fans started creating their own theories, trying to understand what went wrong. Some believed there had been arguments, while others thought outside pressures may have caused the relationship to collapse. Without Cardi speaking directly about it, the mystery only continued to grow. Now it seems that Cardi B is finally starting to reveal pieces of the truth, and the story appears to be more complicated than anyone expected. Sources close to the situation suggest that Cardi may have felt things changing long before the public noticed, and that she quietly began preparing herself for a different future. If those claims are true, then the breakup wasn't sudden at all. It was something that had been building for months. The silence that once confused fans may actually have been Cardi's way of protecting herself while she dealt with everything privately. What makes this story even more interesting is that Cardi B has always been known as someone who speaks her mind and shares her life openly with fans. That's why this period of silence stood out so strongly. When someone who usually says everything suddenly says nothing, people know something deeper is happening. And now that the details are slowly coming out, fans are beginning to understand that the situation may have been more emotional and complicated than it first appeared. Many fans now believe that Cardi B didn't just walk away from Stefon Diggs overnight. Instead, they believe she slowly pulled away after realizing that the relationship was no longer right for her. Whether it was personal differences, trust issues, or simply two lives moving in different directions, the result was the same: a relationship that once seemed promising eventually came to an end. And even though the full truth may never be completely known, it is becoming clearer that there was much more happening behind the scenes than anyone realized at the time. One of the biggest questions fans kept asking was why Cardi B stayed silent for so long if something serious had really happened. Normally, Cardi is not the type of person who hides her feelings. She has always been known for speaking openly about her relationships, her struggles, and the challenges she faces in her personal life. That is exactly why this situation felt so unusual. Instead of addressing the rumors directly, she chose to remain quiet, and that silence only made people more curious about what was really going on behind the scenes. As time passed, people started noticing that Cardi B seemed more focused on herself than ever before. She began posting more about her work, her achievements, and her personal growth rather than her relationship. Some fans interpreted this as a sign that she was moving on, even before any official confirmation of a breakup existed. Others believed that Cardi might have been trying to send a message without actually saying anything directly. In the world of celebrities, even the smallest actions can sometimes reveal hidden meanings, and fans were analyzing every detail closely. There were also moments that seemed to hint that the relationship had already reached a breaking point. During certain public appearances, Cardi looked serious and distant, which was very different from the energetic and confident personality fans were used to seeing. Some viewers felt that she seemed emotionally tired, almost like someone dealing with a situation that had been weighing on her for a long time. While none of this confirmed anything officially, it added to the growing belief that something significant had happened behind closed doors. Another reason people believe Cardi B may have waited before revealing the truth is because she wanted to avoid unnecessary drama. Public breakups often turn into media storms, with rumors spreading quickly and stories becoming exaggerated. By staying quiet, Cardi may have been trying to protect herself and the people around her from the chaos that usually follows celebrity relationship drama. Sometimes choosing silence can be a way of staying in control when everything else feels uncertain. Meanwhile, Stefon Diggs also remained relatively quiet, which made the situation even more mysterious. Fans expected some kind of reaction or explanation, but instead there was very little communication from either side. This mutual silence created even more speculation, with people wondering whether there had been a serious disagreement or whether the separation had happened quietly and privately. Without clear answers, the story continued to grow online as more theories appeared. Some fans believe that trust may have played a role in what happened between Cardi B and Stefon Diggs. Relationships in the public eye are often under constant pressure, and rumors alone can sometimes create tension even when they are not true. Being in the spotlight means dealing with attention from millions of people, and not every relationship can survive that level of pressure. If trust was affected in any way, it could explain why Cardi eventually decided to step back and rethink everything. What makes the situation even more emotional is the idea that Cardi B may have truly wanted the relationship to work. From the outside, there were moments that suggested she was happy and hopeful about the future. That is why the sudden distance felt so surprising to fans who had been supporting her. When something that once looked strong begins to fade quietly, it often means there were struggles happening long before anyone else could see them. Now that Cardi B appears to be revealing more about what really happened, fans are starting to connect the dots and understand the timeline differently. Instead of seeing the breakup as one sudden event, many now believe it was a gradual process that took time to unfold. Each small change, each quiet moment, and each unanswered question may have been part of a bigger story that was developing slowly in the background. As more time passed, fans became convinced that Cardi B's silence wasn't accidental. It started to feel intentional, almost like she was choosing the right moment to finally speak about what really happened. Many people believe that Cardi didn't want to reveal everything while emotions were still fresh, and instead waited until she felt ready to share her side of the story. For someone who has always been honest with her fans, staying quiet for so long suggested that the situation may have been more serious than anyone first imagined. Some fans began pointing out that Cardi B seemed different emotionally during this period. Her posts felt more personal, sometimes more reflective, and occasionally more serious than usual. While she still showed confidence and strength, there were moments where people felt they could sense a deeper story behind her words. It was almost as if she was hinting at something without directly saying it, leaving fans to read between the lines and form their own conclusions. There were also rumors that Cardi B may have discovered things that made her question the future of the relationship. While nothing has ever been officially confirmed, speculation online suggested that trust and communication may have become difficult over time. Relationships in the public eye often face pressures that most people never experience, and even small problems can grow quickly when millions of people are watching. If Cardi felt uncertain about where things were going, that alone could have been enough to make her reconsider everything. Another important detail that fans noticed was how Cardi B began focusing more on independence and personal growth. She spoke more about being strong on her own and making decisions that were best for her future. Many supporters saw this as a clear sign that she was moving forward in her life. Instead of looking back, Cardi appeared determined to concentrate on her career, her family, and her own happiness. That shift in focus suggested that whatever had happened with Stefon Diggs had already changed her perspective in a major way. At the same time, people started realizing that the relationship may not have ended because of one single event. Instead, it may have been a combination of many small issues that slowly built up over time. Sometimes relationships don't end with one dramatic moment, but rather with a series of smaller moments that gradually create distance between two people. If that was the case here, it would explain why the separation felt quiet rather than explosive. Fans who supported Cardi B closely believe that she tried to handle the situation privately before letting the public know anything. Rather than creating headlines or responding to rumors immediately, she may have chosen to deal with everything in her own way first. This approach would be consistent with someone who wanted to protect both her personal life and her peace of mind while working through a difficult situation. Now that Cardi B is slowly revealing more about what really happened, many people are beginning to understand why she stayed quiet for so long. Sometimes telling the full story takes time, especially when emotions and personal experiences are involved. Instead of reacting immediately, Cardi appears to have chosen patience, and that patience may have helped her move forward with a clearer mindset. What fans seem to agree on most is that Cardi B didn't make her decision lightly. Walking away from a relationship is never easy, especially when millions of people are watching and forming opinions. The fact that she remained silent for so long suggests that she wanted to be absolutely sure before finally revealing anything. And now that she is starting to open up, the story behind Cardi B and Stefon Diggs is beginning to look more real and more emotional than the rumors ever suggested. In the end, what Cardi B seems to be revealing about her relationship with Stefon Diggs is not just a simple breakup story, but a situation that slowly changed over time until there was no way to go back. According to people who followed the situation closely, Cardi didn't suddenly decide to walk away. Instead, she may have reached a point where she realized that staying in the relationship was no longer making her happy. Sometimes the hardest decision a person can make is choosing themselves, and many fans believe that is exactly what Cardi B did. Looking back now, many of the signs that once seemed small suddenly make more sense. The silence, the distance, and the changes in her behavior no longer look random. Instead, they appear to be part of a bigger story that was unfolding quietly in the background. When Cardi stopped mentioning Stefon Diggs publicly, it may not have been accidental at all. It may have been the moment when she began closing that chapter of her life without needing to explain everything right away. Some fans believe that Cardi B's decision to finally reveal what really happened is her way of moving forward. By letting people understand at least part of the story, she is taking control of the narrative instead of allowing rumors to define what happened. For months, the internet created its own versions of events, but now Cardi seems ready to share her side in her own way. Even if she never reveals every detail, the message appears clear: the relationship ended because she believed it was the right decision for her life. What makes this story different from many other celebrity breakups is how quietly everything happened. There were no dramatic public fights, no explosive interviews, and no sudden announcements. Instead, the separation felt slow and almost invisible at first. That quiet ending may actually explain why fans became so curious, because when something ends without explanation, people naturally want to understand why. Now that Cardi B is finally revealing what really happened with Stefon Diggs, the situation appears less like a mystery and more like a personal journey. It shows how relationships can change over time and how people sometimes grow in different directions. Even though fans may continue to speculate about the details, one thing seems clear: Cardi B made a decision that she believed was best for her future, and perhaps the biggest lesson from this story is that not every ending needs to be loud to be real. Sometimes the most important changes happen quietly, away from cameras and headlines. Cardi B's silence may have confused people at first, but now it looks more like a period where she was focusing on herself and deciding what she truly wanted. If this really is the full story behind Cardi B and Stefon Diggs, then it explains why everything unfolded the way it did, slowly, privately, and on her own terms. Even now, fans continue to watch closely to see what Cardi B will say next. Whether she chooses to reveal more details or keep certain parts private, the story has already left a strong impression. For many supporters, this moment represents not just the end of a relationship, but the beginning of a new chapter in Cardi B's life. And sometimes, moving forward means leaving certain things in the past and focusing on what comes next.